Well, hello, good people, and Eagle and Commander fans. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. And don't forget about our sponsor, BetUS. Shout out to BetUS. BetUS, make sure you use that promo code YouTube150. It's not too late to get ready to get your Super Bowl bets on. And don't forget, even though football season is coming to an end, they do have gambling on pretty much everything. Everything. They even have casino games. So make sure you use that promo code YouTube150 to get 150% matching on your first three deposits of up to $2,000. Do it today and bet responsibly. What's up, good people? Hope everybody is having a good day. We have the Senior Bowl going on right now, and it's amazing to me because typically what happens on my stream and my chat and everything is I get like usually Eagle fans before anybody else. And I opened up the board here to go ahead and get this thing going. And what do I have happen first of all and foremost is Momo. Momo is the first one to show up. And somebody's got Momo, you got me playing in the background. You got to turn it down. Come on, man. Always up in here showing your ass. So we've got everybody. I got Holly Pierce in the house. I got Chris May. Hope you're feeling better, Chris May. We got lovely Linda. Linda living the dream of going to the Super Bowl. We got Mo Dizzle. Did I say Holly Pierce? And we got Mr. Nasty, Dirty Sanchez. All right, good people. So here we have, got Momo in here who looked a little bit down. For a second there, I thought maybe he was a Cowboy fan the way he was looking down because we's depressed. But he was actually going on and saying that, some of the people who are Commanders fans were a little delusional because they thought for sure that they were going to the Super Bowl. Any comment on that?
No, they really thought they was going to the Super Bowl because Eagles was all around better team, better offense line, better defense line, better secondary. Not a better quarterback because I don't think Hurst is better to this young guy we got going on. But all around they had a better team. So what do you think is going to happen? And then I don't know if it's true or not. When Daniel scored that touchdown and he started showboating, dancing, where he normally don't do that.
Yeah.
The Eagles got mad and said, "Hell, we're gonna put 21 points on your head."
Well, I'm gonna say though, you shouldn't have anything to feel bad about. You guys were playing with house money. The fact that you got Jalen Daniels and everything else, but I'm gonna actually say, you beat me down. You literally came in here and you trashed me, and said that that we're being fooled about our coaching staff and stuff. That we're not going to be doing anything. Isn't that what you said? Or did I take that the wrong way?
Yes, y'all. Stop doing this to yourself.
Wait a minute. Hold up. You know what? I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do to myself. Because I will.
Do it.
Here's my thing. Okay. Because see, now you're beginning to sound like the delusional fans that just had you in the Super Bowl.
No, I'm not.
No, because you're assuming that what you saw this year is going to be next year. Because see, what happens to a lot of these young quarterbacks is there's not a book out on them yet. But see, what's going on right now as we sit here, hold on, is defensive coordinators and their staff are picking everything that your guy is doing apart.
Right.
And it makes it that much harder because it's an unknown quantity. We've seen this happen. We've seen it happen with Dak. We've seen it with Justin Herbert. We've seen quarterbacks take that setback. That's why they call it a sophomore slump. Now, hold up. Before you guys drink the Kool-Aid and think that you've arrived and this is how it's going to be, where was San Francisco this time last year?
In the Super Bowl.
Where are they this year?
They not.
Okay, so you can go from first
this is third
to
year,
worst.
Though.
Huh?
This is his third year.
I'm just pointing out. Okay, I'm pointing out that the NFL is not for long, and just because you had success one year, you can go off a cliff real quick.
How about you talk about San Francisco? Was his third year as the quarterback. He didn't have no sophomore slump.
What, Brock Purdy?
Yeah.
True, he didn't have a sophomore slump, but they had a loaded roster, man. They had literally everything. And what they did was they went out there and they got more to help them out. Great defense. Tell me a weakness on San Francisco's offense. Because here's what I'm going to say. Once they lost Ayuk
They're running
and
back
Christian McCaffrey, he wasn't shit. He wasn't the
this
shit.
year.
And, for everybody who's sucking on Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback and Jalen Hurts is doing things that Dak's not doing, bro, you got a 2,000-yard running back.
Yeah.
You have so many games where you don't have 150 yards passing. So don't come at me with Jalen Hurts is the best. No, he ain't had to do shit. If I've got a running back who's getting 150 yards a game, guess what? My job is easy as shit because they're worried about stopping him.
Who's saying that? Okay, can I say something real quick?
Go
Mark, ahead. This is the thing what I'm going to say about that game. Barkley was killing them, so they had man for man on the corners. They got burned. You got man for man. You ain't beating those two very good receivers. That's how they got beat.
Yeah,
the corners couldn't guard them.
Which makes your job easy when you've got a running game.
Exactly.
And that's where the focus is on the Cowboys. Now, you're hogging the show here because I got Derek J, I got Big D, I got Asa Robinson, I got yeah. Let us at least feel good about ourselves. Literally, I came in here and I'm like, okay, they're trying to get Shard Choice as a coach and stuff here. I believe in Caton Adams is definitely a guy who's going to help us run the game. And what do? You just try and bust my damn bubble.
Thomas.
You just try and bust my bubble and make me feel bad. Why are you going to come in here and make me feel bad? I don't understand it. How you doing, Asa Robinson?
I'm trying to make you. I'm trying to help you, Mark.
Yeah,
I don't
don't
want
help
you to have
me.
a heart attack
Don't help
on
me.
air.
Ah,
Please.
shit.
Mark, my heart still hurts right now.
I know it does, girl. I know it does. And we're here with you, girl. Damn. And shit just got worse because now Leo's in here. Leo couldn't wait 15 minutes before he showed up. Look at him with that shit-eating
Hi,
grin.
Leo.
Man, go smoke a blunt and leave us the hell alone, man.
Hey, Aisha. That's it. That's all I want to say. Hey, fellas, what's happening, y'all?
And
How's it going?
I think
Momo.
we have
What's
to
good, Momo?
we have to pray for the people in Philadelphia
We do. And in
for the
DC.
plane crash.
Have you seen the pictures? Have you seen the videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty bad out there. So
Leo, now you really want to win now, right?
we're going to win. Yes, we're going to win.
And I'm not gonna lie. That's the first thing I thought of.
Was the plane crash?
The Eagles gonna win the Super Bowl right after the plane crash. I was like, it's set in stone now.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what.
Because
man.
9/11, after 9/11 happened, that's when the Patriots took off with
Yeah,
their red and white and blue colors.
But if you believe that one, then it should have been actually the Rams winning because of the wildfires.
Well, yeah.
No.
Okay,
No.
but listen, I already got all Momo his shit eating grin. Now I got you. Can us Cowboy fans actually say something on a Cowboy show?
Well, real quick, I just want you to know, because we are now the, we run the NFC. We are the,
Oh my
you
God.
know, this is. I want to be, from this point on, I want to be known as, Big Brother Almighty.
Enough is enough.
That's what I need y'all to start calling me, Big Brother Almighty. Okay.
Everybody strap in. I'm about to open some fucking windows.
Just Big Brother Almighty. That's it. Nice. The view from up here is real nice, Mark. Hey, congratulations on the new hire. You know what? Congratulations on the new hire.
Fuck up until you reach the top of Shut Fuck Mountain where there are no more fuck ups to shut.
Shut up, Leo.
I understand.
Shut up.
I understand.
All right, Derek J, you were talking here, okay? Momo's going to shut the fuck up. Leo's going to shut the fuck up, and we're going to hear from some Cowboy fans. We've been on here 10 minutes, haven't heard a word about the Dallas Cowboys on a Dallas Cowboys show. Now shut the fuck up, both of you.
Hey.
I
Derek J.
I'm happy with these coaching hires. I mean, what else? What other choice do I have?
Well, we don't. Well,
But to
you
be
can
with
become.
them.
You can join Leo and become an Eagle fan.
No, I don't.
Hey, Leo, you know that's Saquon's birthday, right?
On February 9th, him and Cooper DeJean.
Okay. All right. So, do we believe? Do we believe that Stephen Jones got a wake up call? Do we
My man
believe
say he's
that
studying the
his
Eagles.
well? No, shut up, Leo. Shut up.
We talking about y'all, which is what y'all wanted.
That Stephen Jones a week ago basically dismissing everybody with the air quote fingers about the Cowboys playoff and Super Bowl drought that they're talking about. The fact that when they called his name, nobody clapped. You literally heard freaking crickets. That maybe he's a little butthurt and now forced to actually have to do something.
Mm.
Want me to tell you what's
that's
so
the pick.
sad about all of that?
Tell me what's sad about it. That we've wasted 30 years with it.
They, when the people in the audience didn't clap,
Yeah. I was happy as shit.
what's so sad about all of that? Even Miss Jean didn't clap, and that's his mama. When your mama don't clap for you, when your mama don't clap for you,
Look, he had to clap for himself.
that's a problem.
Look, the coach said,
Thomas,
Yeah.
Thomas, are you ready for your sister? The Eagles win it all.
oh, shit. I don't even want to think about that.
No, I already don't let it be known. I already done said it. I called her yesterday and I asked her, "Are you gonna have the party over your house?" And she's fucking all in denial. I don't know. And I didn't tell her. But if Philadelphia do win, I'm gonna get drunk on purpose and raise all kind of hell in her house.
That's where you at now?
Yeah, man.
That's what you're reduced to?
It's not the Eagles winning. It's
Right.
the Eagles fans winning, and
Right.
what we have to deal with for a year, because it's gonna be into the season. Y'all still
Yeah.
gonna be talking about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's going to be a long off season and a long season, so I get it.
So it's not just
I will, I get Philly 500 who texts me all the time and saying, guess who's going to the Super Bowl and shit. And then after a while, he'll wait. And I think, okay, he's got to have a system. And then I at least
But I'm
expect it.
but I'm gonna tell you this though, Philadelphia, if you don't win the Super Bowl, you are not gonna hear the end of this shit.
Yeah, that's true.
You are not going to hear the end of it. This is your Super Bowl to win. If you don't win it, you better go under the biggest rock and hide.
Under the
does Andy Reid coming back and beating y'all, does that make it hurt more?
No.
Or is it the same?
No. And it's interesting. I just had this conversation because
What's up, Gina Dallas?
I think that people tend to forget what all was happening around that time period when he left for both the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Because homeboy had just killed himself in front of Romeo Crennel and them. Remember when that went down? He killed his baby mama.
Yeah.
And then Andy's son had died from the OD, and his other son had gotten in trouble. So, in my opinion, those were two entities: the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid, who needed a complete change of scenery. And so, I'm always happy for Big Red, except for when he plays us and whatnot. But no, it don't hurt. It don't hurt at all. You know, we remember too much stuff. There was too much stuff going on. So he needed to go, him and his family.
Lord Vaughn, so it goes both ways. We can harass y'all when
yes,
we
Jeff,
win
I am.
Deal. Okay. Brian SoCal in the house. Mama gotta go. Dirty Sanchez. Marcus Blackman in here. Damn. What'd you do? Bite into the mug right there, Jog? Look like you got a chunk of it taken out.
Right here. Yeah, man, I banged it. Yeah, but this is like my Mark. This mug has been everywhere with me, from Iraq to Afghanistan to the Pentagon. Everywhere, this mug has traveled with me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So it's still in one piece. Well, I got okay. Well, that's good. Good to hear that it's made it that far. But for us Cowboy fan, okay, we'll deal with y'all in the Super Bowl next week, okay? But
Well, you know what? Let me say this. I'm worried about y'all, Mark. I'm worried about y'all. I've been listening to you this week. I've been listening to everybody. It feels like
Hey, don't be worried about us. You need to be worried about this game next week.
Listen. Hey, the last time I expressed something like this, turns out I was right. And so I'm just saying, from an observation standpoint, as long as it took, I see you, Mark. As long as it took for you guys to come back from that loss to Green Bay, and I said something's off with y'all. It's taking y'all a lot longer to come back than normal, and your whole season made it even harder. What I'm worried about now is I see these hires, Brian Schottenheimer. I see all and it's activity. That's great.
okay,
But you don't know how this is going to work.
Stop.
And y'all are trying to convince yourselves of something.
Stop.
ahead.
Just stop. You're taking over my damn show. Okay? Stop. Now I'm gonna say this. No. So I'm gonna say this much. Because we should have gotten Aaron Glenn, we should have gotten Ben Johnson and stuff. And I'm gonna look and I'm gonna say, this guy, Brian Schottenheimer, has more experience than either of those two guys. Because here's what I'm going to say. No, hold up. Shut up for a second. Ben Johnson has only got 3 years of the Lions being actually decent as the offensive coordinator. Okay? Do we now believe that he is, this great coordinator, that he is automatically going to be a success at coach? Because, we thought Robert Saleh was a great defensive coordinator. He goes to the Jets, and what happened? Mike McDaniels, he was thought to be a genius, great offensive coordinator and everything else. What has he done in Miami? And I can say that since there's $800 million of money that's being paid to coaches that have been fired, that a lot of these guys, just like number one draft picks, are bust. Now, which is better? For Ben Johnson to go to the Bears, where he doesn't know the players, the coaches, or anything else, or to have a Brian Schottenheimer who already knows the deal with the Cowboys, and having a quarterback, and having players that we lost last year, and at least already having the basis of what he wants to do to start out with. I look at it and say, he's further along than right now either of those guys, and he's definitely better than Mr. Duval. Okay. Right? That goober that just fell off the salad truck. Duval.
He said it all messed up, Mark. Mark, they've been cooking him. He said it like that's not how you say it.
It's like Duval. What the fuck was that? Oh, let me get up to the camera because it was literally like Duval. Fucking howdy doody. Howdy doody. Okay.
He messed all of that up.
Okay. Now,
so true.
and here's the thing about this too is you're actually seeing for the first time. Usually, what happens is the Cowboys have their staff together. Then we're gonna go hire a coach. Mike McCarthy. Hey, welcome. You're head coach. Kellen Moore's your offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Wade Phillips. Hey, Wade Phillips. Congratulations. Jason Garrett. He's your offensive coordinator. At least the activity is happening. You may not like Brian Schottenheimer, and it may be that they didn't talk to all those other people. And, who were they trying to get Pete Carroll, or were they just talking to him about Brian Schottenheimer? Were they actually going to try and get Dion? You have a guy at least that is familiar with the organization and a guy who is more run-centric. Because you can say, well, the Cowboys, they didn't do shit last year. Well, it was Mike McCarthy's offense. But he was there when Dak Prescott was runner-up MVP who should have been MVP. He was there in Seattle as the play caller with Russell Wilson getting 4,200 yards, 42 TDs, 10 interceptions, and 1,900 yards in running the football. So it's not
He
like
was on that staff.
Yes, he was. He was the coordinator there for 3 years. What they do? Here's the thing that they do. He was there with in Jacksonville with Urban Meyer, with that whole fucked up situation. So they say, oh well, he was the offensive coordinator with Jacksonville, but that whole organization was screwed up from the head all the way down. So are you looking at his career from there, or are you looking at his career where he was successful with great coaches? And I will say, it's subtle, but if you go back and look at every press conference that the Cowboys always do, it's always Jerry Jones. Welcome, everybody. You know, we're here today, and we got ourselves a new coach or training camp. It's always Jerry Jones at first. This was the first time it was Brian Schottenheimer that it was his show.
Yeah.
He welcomed everybody. He told his story. He was the guy that was in front and center. And to me, that was like, wait a minute, hold up. You know, then it was questions to Jerry where he was defending himself on the lack of activity and sense of urgency and stuff. But that's subtle, but to me, that's major. And when you start now, you know, I think Stephen Jones.
All the acknowledgement is what the subtleties of it are.
The subtlety of it. And here's the thing. The coaching staff that they're putting together are his guys. When you start looking.
So these are all handpicked coaches.
These are guys that some of them are ones that he has worked with in Seattle and other places. Right. And they're also a younger group of guys. This isn't retread. Mike Zimmer, 68 years old. This isn't Mike McCarthy in his 60s. This is younger guys that have a more modern, view to it. Caden Adams, the Cardinals, I think, are, over the last 2 seasons, the third best running team in football. And that's one of the problems. He's huge. And here's the thing. They're looking at former Cowboy running back Tashard Choice. Yeah. And, he's a college coach, but he's been working with some of the best running backs that you see right now, like Bijan. So if you get a run-heavy coach in Caden Adams, you get yourself a really good running back coach. Maybe you draft an Austin Genty and you start getting more balance. This offense can be a lot better. It will definitely help prolong Dak Prescott's career and make him more effective. I mean, you can look at your situation right now, what having Saquon has done for your offense. It's great because Jalen Hurts doesn't have to throw 300, 400 yards every game. You're balanced and you're hard to stop because you are. You got A.J. Brown who can read a book on the freaking sidelines. And that's what you want. You don't want to have a quarterback who has to win or lose every single game every week through his arms. That's
but we're built.
You're built. Right now, your team is loaded everywhere. You are.
Leo, you prepared to lose Kellen Moore to one of your teams?
Oh, he ain't going. He's been looked at the Saints.
I think the Saints are going to probably try to.
Well, that's the only place that's left. But
he's already snatched. Yeah. He's already snatched.
They can't. The only thing they can't. The one thing they can't do is they can't say anything right now because they'll get in a lot of trouble. Look what happened to Arizona with us. The last time we played in the Super Bowl, it was in Arizona, and remember Gannon stayed in Arizona when when the game was over, but they ended up getting in trouble. Now it's like we're in the same type of scenario, sort of. The Super Bowl in New Orleans, and then now they're looking at Kellen Moore. So it's like, okay, here we go again. And one thing I'll say is that what ticks me off about the whole thing is what I said to you earlier in the season, Mark. I didn't care whether or not it did or didn't work. I just wanted Jalen to have the same coordinator for 2 years in a row, at least one time. You know what I'm saying?
All right. I'm gonna pause you there for a second here, because I've got to get people's thoughts on this, because my lady, Miss Tracy, has been busy, okay?
Making shirts and shit.
I want to see what people's thoughts are on our new shirt, and I think I'm going to actually do a shot glass. That's going to be like this. So everybody who is a tailgate member is automatically going to get our new shirt.
A shoddy shot.
A shoddy shot. What do you think? Shoddy shot. Here we go.
That's actually not. It's not only should it be not only is it. I like the shirt, but it should be something that you do, an activity. So yes.
I got my shot.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wow. So you're gonna be a drinker next. Man, you turn everybody into alcoholics.
So,
bro.
well, if it's bad, oh God, it's time for a shoddy shot. Fuck.
Hey,
Yeah,
you can put
that's
grape
true.
juice in the shot.
Or hey, we're winning. We get our shoddy victory shot.
I don't know, Derek. I like.
You put milk and
first of
sugar
all,
in the shot glass.
There you go.
I have a question for. I have a question for
Kool-Aid.
you.
Go ahead.
Whose coaching tree is Shoddy from? Like, would you?
Marty
is it
Schottenheimer.
Carroll.
Marty Schottenheimer. Marty Schottenheimer. Okay.
Marty. That's his son.
Yeah.
Well, I know he's. I know. No. I know he's. I know he's
been all
Marty's
over the
son,
place. So
but he's been so far all over the place for so long.
Well,
You
here's
can't
you know
say
what?
he's from Marty Schottenheimer's coaching tree. Marty Schottenheimer's is too far removed to say that. You know, like he spent more time. He had more success under Pete Carroll than anybody, right?
So wait a minute.
Mark?
So who do you say then Kyle Shanahan is? Who's this coaching tree? Are you gonna say Jay Gruden?
No, wait a minute. Didn't Kyle come from the Redskins?
Yeah, he was in with Washington with Jay Gruden. And then he was in Atlanta as offensive coordinator when they went to the Super Bowl with Dan Quinn. So,
Wow. So
I mean, are you
Dan
gonna?
Quinn?
Huh?
Would it be Dan Quinn?
No, he was with Jay Gruden before Dan Quinn. He was only with Dan Quinn.
Wasn't
for
Dan
1
Quinn
year.
with the Falcons when they went to the Super
Yes,
Bowl?
and that's when he was there with them.
Yeah. Yep. Well, wait a minute. Isn't but don't you count who?
You would think that he would be under his dad's coaching tree.
No,
Nah,
I
it's
mean,
too far removed, Thomas.
I
Too
think
far removed.
he started out with. Well, then who's Kyle Shanahan's? No, I'm sorry. No, it's my son. That's my tree. It's his father. It's Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah, it's his dad's.
It's his dad.
When was he on his father's staff?
He grew up working with his dad. When was Kyle?
No, When was the last time he was actually on his father's staff as a coordinator?
All right, then are we going to say the Ryan tree? Because I think he started out. Let's see, 2006. Who was the head coach of the Jets back then?
it's just like in 8 years or 10 years, Deion Sanders' kids, they're gonna have plenty of coaches, but you're gonna know them as being coached by Deion.
Right.
Their
No.
father.
I don't look
listen.
at players the same as I look at coaches. You know what I'm saying? I thought
Well,
I always thought that it was
Nah,
who
I
Kellen
got,
Moore was a
last
coach.
serve under.
He was a player.
I got to say, Jim Mora
You know.
Jr. was like his dad, Jim Mora. Okay, that's his coaching tree from his dad. And I mean, I think the Ryans. I don't know if Rex Ryan was there when he was first hired, but I'm not going to say he's part of the Rex Ryan coaching tree, or he was with Seattle with Pete Carroll. If anything, you can say that he's got more of a world view, that he's actually been around several different coaches.
as a coordinator. Who's he?
I'm gonna tell you something. Marty Schottenheimer, he got a hell of a coaching tree.
Yeah.
Bill
yeah.
Cowboys, Herm Edwards,
Yep.
Tony Dungy.
Yep.
What's his name?
He started out as
Who coached
assistant,
football?
actually an assistant in '97 with the St. Louis Rams, '98 Kansas City as an assistant. He was quarterbacks coach in 2001 in Washington. Wait a minute. Okay, 2001. Okay, he's with the Chargers as quarterback coach in 2002 through 2005, and he was offensive coordinator first time for the Jets in 2006 until 2011, and I believe that was during the time when Butt Fumble
Yeah.
was,
Mark
what,
Sanchez.
and they went to the AFC Championship game 3 years. You can't say he had a premier quarterback there, but he's also led the league in rushing, I believe, 2 or 3 times as a coordinator. in his career. So they'll go.
So it's not like this guy hasn't known any success. Basically,
Oh, no.
He has.
He has. Yeah, you can look at Russell Wilson's best years were under him as the offensive coordinator. And let's be clear here. He was the offensive coordinator when Dak was 2 years ago. He was here. So he knows what works with Dak. If you've got a healthy Dak Prescott, you got to look at this and say they'll at least be, where they've been.
I would just think that when you look at someone who like you said, the part that gets me is when you said, you got somebody who knows the deal when it comes to the Joneses.
Yeah, now
and
again, but
that part right there makes me look at anybody who knowingly knows what's going on. I look at you kind of side-eyed.
Maybe, but you know what?
Unless this is your very first head coaching
chance.
Opportunity, then okay, because you're going to jump on whatever you can get your hands on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But now here's the thing. In the same way that Mike McCarthy had Kellen Moore as his OC.
Yeah.
He went in and he said, okay, we're not changing everything on the offense. Okay. He said, we're, basically about a third of it's going to go. We're going to take the things that the players do well in plays and stuff like that, and then we're going to add to that.
Right.
That season started off rough at first, but then all of a sudden by week 5, that offense took off. And they were doing some incredible things because first 5 games, I think CD averaged about 50 yards a game.
Right.
And he ended up with over 1,700 yards. That offense was humming without a great running game. Tony Pollard was not a between-the-tackles running back, and they forced him to be that. And you didn't have that guy. So our running game went downhill, but our passing game went there. The difference between Brian Schottenheimer is he believes in more balance. Mike McCarthy believes in passing the football and only running what's absolutely necessary. So you have a change there. But none of this means shit if it's business as usual with the Cowboys. Now, I can say a lot of things about Stephen Jones, and most of them aren't good. But the thing I can say about Stephen Jones is he does not lie to you and bullshit you where he's going to say, we're all in, and then, a couple weeks later you're going to hear we're going to do more with less. He always tells you like it is. He'll tell you, we're not going to spend money in free agency. We don't believe in it. This week, he's kind of had a different tune at the Senior Bowl, recognizing that we can't continue to do the same things over and over again, expecting a different result.
That's what I need to see. I need to see.
He's kind of put it out there that Schottenheimer brings stability, but also change of what we're doing. We recognize we need to run the football and stop the run. Now, that's great to hear that. And that's what we all know is the problem. Now, will they back it up with action? That's the big question. Because if they don't, it doesn't matter who you bring in here if you don't go ahead and take care of the holes.
Hence my worry. Because it sounds like you guys are trying to I'm like, are they setting themselves up for failure by, things were so bad that we'll go with this. We're trying to convince ourselves of something that might not actually be.
But here's the thing, though. But I hear what you're saying, because typically that would be we failed, and Jerry Jones will say we're going all in, and then he doesn't actually do anything. You know what I mean? That's typically what you get. But as you look at what they're doing after they settled on Brian Schottenheimer, in the course of a week, Matt Eberflus was not a good head coach. But the Bears' defense was good. A very good defense, and they went downhill as soon as he left. It's kind of like Robert Saleh. He was not a good head coach with the Jets, but their defense was still outstanding. They just couldn't get shit together on the offense. And so you get a Matt Eberflus who, when he was here in Dallas.
I was going to say, you do look like Shuttlesworth there.
Yeah.
Who was here with Dallas back in the heydays of DeMarcus Ware and Anthony Spencer having 2 double-digit sack guys, who also was with Sean Lee. And Sean Lee, if he had the knees, would be a Hall of Famer. So you got a really good defensive mind right there. You now go through and you get a great offensive line coach in Caton Adams, who is going to help you run the football. you all of a sudden say, okay, they're putting people in positions. This isn't just the usual Cowboys nepotism where we're just going to hire guys from our organization and say, here you go, here's what you got. This is at least Brian Schottenheimer is getting a stamp on this. Whether it works or fails, it's actually the coach as opposed to Steven and Jerry. At least that's my feel. Now, I could be wrong.
If I can get a free agent signing in the first week,
That's the key.
Then I
There you
am
go.
going to say, okay, let's go. But if I don't get that, it's the same old, same old. I
Right.
just
Yeah,
need a
it's the
free
same
agent
old crap.
signing in the first week.
Right. So the things
You
that
know,
they can do is get Micah Parsons done. Don't wait till after training camp. Don't string this thing out. Get Micah. Micah is a $24 million cap hit right now with his 5th-year option. Get his deal done. Save yourself about $10, $12 million. Use that money and keep Osa on the roster. That'll go a long ways to say, okay, we mean business. And then go in there. Don't choke on the blunt. Then go in there into free agency and say, we're going to take care of one other spot. We're going to either find a really good wide receiver. We're going to find either another offensive lineman or you know what I'm saying? Let's plug one of those other holes. If you're starting to do that, then you're starting to win people back because you say, we got a good coaching staff now. We kept one of our key players, and we're doing something in free agency. Everybody else's thoughts? I've talked a whole lot. Momo's done gone dark on us. Has he pulled his pants down
No,
again?
Monk, I agree with you. You know, I'm like David J
That's
said.
cold.
You know,
That's cold. That's cold.
We love you, Momo.
You ain't gonna never let Momo let that out.
That's my boy right there. So
Mark,
Thomas,
what happened? I had to take a phone call.
we saw Momo's ashy ass, and we were just
Oh,
reliving
no,
it.
hell no.
Oh boy! But and Eddie says you definitely. Oh, there's Monique in the house. But we definitely need to get those deals done early. But as Cowboy fans, so we're not talking to you. What would it take you guys to feel like this is different than what we've been getting for all these years?
Good question, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it. I mean, my thoughts is I need a free agent signing in the first week. That's what I need. I need to see something in the first week.
I know if we let Osa go, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, it's some people. Is Osa Turpin?
That would be bad.
Well, Turpin, I think, is a restricted one.
Okay.
So, you basically have to give him the offers. Okay, so the let me pull them up. There's some that you look at and say, I'm okay if they go. I mean, we've got some of those are Cooper Rush, Trey Lance. Let's see. So, Dalvin Cook, Malik Davis, Kevin Harmon, Jalen Cooper, okay. Exclusive Rice free agents, Brock Hoffman, so they can't basically do anything. Tavarius Wheat, Wanye Thomas, okay. So restricted free agents would be Kayvon Turpin and Marquez Bell. So you go ahead and give them the offer, the tender, and you can keep them. And the tenders would be a first-round tender would be 7.2, second-round tender would be 5.2, and original round tender would be $3 million. So the unrestricted ones you have are our punter, Brian Aguilar, our long snapper, Trent Sig, C.J. Godwin. I don't want to lose my punter. Quarterbacks, Trey Lance, Cooper Rush. I don't care if I lose those guys. Running back wise, Rico is unrestricted. Brandon Cooks, he doesn't have any guaranteed money or anything like that. We're still going to take a dead hit for him. I'm okay with letting Brandon Cooks go.
Yeah.
Offensive line, Chuma Igoda. Okay. Zach Martin, who, of course,
should retire.
He should retire and probably will. Although, if you did bring him back, you could basically use the void years and the money that we already owe him and basically make that a wash. On the defense, we have DeMarcus Lawrence. Probably will go to Washington. Carl Lawson. I think I'd like to bring back Carl Lawson and probably be reasonable.
Yeah, you bring back Carl.
Yeah.
Osa and Digazua, I think you got to bring him back. I'd like to bring back Chauncey Goldston. Linval Joseph, which is a ham sandwich, and Carlos Watkins. And then you've got linebackers, Devarius Harris, Eric Kendrick, Nick Vogel. Cornerbacks, Andrew Booth, Jordan Lewis. Yeah, I think you definitely want Jordan back. Israel.
Andrew Booth, he got to go. He got to go.
Well, Jordan Lewis, you ready to move on from him?
No, bring back Jordan Lewis. I'm talking about Andrew Booth. He got to go.
I was like, you want to get rid of Jordan Lewis? I was like, man, okay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Israel Mahanahu and Amani Orwale. Okay, so, there are a lot of names that are out there, but the ones you worry about losing would be Jordan Lewis, Osa and Digazua, Carl Lawson, Chauncey Golston, Rico. Those are the
Mark,
ones.
you really want to lose Rico? That dude is fast.
I said, no, you don't want to lose. I said, those are the 5 that I look at and say you don't want to lose. If I lose Trey Lance, I'm not worried about it. Cooper Rush, probably nobody else is really going to sign him. I think he ends up coming back. Brandon Cooks, Brandon is old now. I'm ready for us to sign somebody else other than Brandon Cooks. Zach Martin, I think, will retire. But, I kind of like Brock Hoffman a lot. And it's maybe time to go ahead and look at this youth movement. Agoda, he's been a journeyman offensive lineman. We've had him here seemingly every year since, I think, 2019 when he was with New England. So it's bad, but it's not as bad as, it's not the worst free agent list here. It's not like last year where we lost Stephon Gilmore, we lost Biotish. We ended up losing 9 starters. We ended up losing Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler. We lost a lot last year.
So this is a total rebuild. Not a total, but a somewhat of a rebuild.
This is like this every year. Every year we have somewhere between 24 and 30 free agents because it's the Cowboys' nature of at the end of training camp we're going to sign a bunch of guys to cheap contracts. That's where you got Linval Joseph. That's where you got Carl Lawson. That's where you got Jordan Phillips. That's the guy.
When was the last time you had a turnover this massive in terms of coaching staff and players at the same time?
Coaching staff wide.
It's been a while since we've seen this.
Coaching staff wide, I don't think you haven't with Jerry Jones. This, I would say, would have to be the biggest because what he's always done from when he brought in Barry Switzer, you're the head coach. When you saw Chan Gailey take over, it was still pretty much, Mike Zimmer and the same staff that was here.
Right.
Then from Chan Gailey to, what's his name? Curly white hair, special teams coach. 3 seasons of 5-11. I keep trying to forget it, but same thing. It's always been we've got our guys and coaches. We're just going to change the head coach. This is the first time that it's been really almost a whole new staff.
Hey, Mark, will you want your Cowboy to tank for Manning?
Okay, so here
he's addressed this already.
Okay, now let's think about this for a second.
Oh boy, here we go.
No, hold on. So let me see if I got this straight. The Cowboys lose Dak Prescott after Week 5 and got Cooper Rush. The Cowboys lose Sam Williams and basically every edge rusher. We lost 4 of them before the end of training camp. We ended up having Diggs come back, who was never quite right. We didn't have our starting defensive backfield actually playing together until, I think, Week 12. Deron Bland didn't start out till Week 12. We lost Overshone. We lost Micah Parsons for 5 games. Zach Martin was a shell of himself. We started 2 rookie offensive linemen, right? CeeDee Lamb was injured half of the season with a hurt shoulder. and we still won 7 games. So how are we going to get to the point where you're going to be the number 1 pick, which means you're winning 1 or none games? If we got 7 wins with that shit sandwich, how are you getting down to no wins?
Can I say something, Mark, about that?
Go ahead.
Here's the thing. I don't think he's a lamed up coach or he's going to get fired, but I don't believe he will be there after 2 years. Here's my problem.
Maybe not.
You cannot. Here I would say, the offensive coordinator you hired is the offensive line coach. I'm sorry. What are y'all doing? And second, and the most important
Because your
thing,
head coach is the play caller.
but he's the offensive, but don't get him a title then.
Okay,
What do you need offensive coordinator for?
I find it so funny that here it is, a Commander fan who has seen this function for 35 years is now trying to tell, after one season,
that's what's so funny to me.
Is now trying to tell you Cowboys, it's doom and gloom for you.
My statement.
Momo, shut the fuck up.
Let me finish my statement. I just want to say this last thing. Be careful. Be careful. Dan Snyder did this to the Washington football team all those years, and Jerry is doing the same thing. Remember, Dan Snyder and Jerry Jones are best of friends.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, Momo.
Drew,
but you got a cop coming in here and showing your ass. You see how? Oh, he's got to leave now.
Mark,
you see that? I just got him on black. Oh, wait a minute. I'll be right back. I got to leave right now. See how them Commander fans are? Oh, there's no rivalry. We're superior. We're superior to y'all. Y'all just coming in here showing your ass. Always coming in here, Bobo, showing your ass.
Mark,
Come on, man.
Drew told me to tell you, new coaches, new coordinators, all new problems, dark days ahead for Dallas.
Maybe it will be.
Okay, hold on. Let me respond to Gina since she wanted to say something. I support the Cowboys because I want a rivalry. I don't want y'all to be losers.
Okay.
I'm trying to help y'all.
Here's what. Okay.
I love it.
Here's the thing. Okay. Here's what I'll say.
I support your destruction. I support all the dysfunction. I support Jerry Jones. I support Stephen Jones. I hope they continue to do the masterful job that they have been
Samantha
doing.
Savage.
I love it. And just so we're clear, Thomas Garrett, if we do win, when we win next weekend, I intend to be insufferable.
You already are insufferable
throughout the offseason and next season. I am going to.
Let me just say about the Super Bowl. I just want to say this real quick. I just got to get this out of my system.
Please.
I haven't watched the Super Bowl over 8 years. The reason I don't watch the Super Bowl, no, not because my team doesn't have there. I don't think I would watch what Washington is there because it's not for the fans. It's a corporate.
Oh my! I can tell you that one for sure. Having been
corporate. It's very corporate. Mm-hmm. Everything about it is corporate. Matter of fact, if they really care about these players at halftime, why is the halftime show longer and no players got to sit on their laurels in the back as a football?
You know who performing this year? Kendrick Lamar.
I don't care. I don't care because there shouldn't be no performance longer than the average halftime show. Why we have this long halftime show for no reason while the players sitting in the back got to wait on them? I hate it.
To make money. Okay, anyway, be that as
That's
it may.
my rant for today.
Okay. You see how Commander and Eagle fans just fuck up the show? Look, he literally turned his back on us. He literally said, I ain't got nothing else to say, and turned his back on me. Damn.
He is feeling it, boy. That's the Commander fan. I told you, Mark. They've been talking real.
He turned around.
I told you.
He turned around like he was Maximus up in here.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, don't turn your back on me.
They had
motherfucking Maximus up in here. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Ain't that some shit?
That's how he.
Damn. Honestly, they should ask Jimmy for
help. Mark, they talk to us the same way.
Damn.
They talk to us the same way.
They done got arrogant as shit.
Sitting on the porch all the time.
Oh my God.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm a realistic Washington fan. I didn't expect them to go to the Super Bowl. I hated when they were saying it was Super Bowl. I didn't think we had this great team. I never said that.
All right, so Big D, what's going on, Big D? And who just came
Not
in?
much.
Julian, what's going on? Chris May, please quit showing the eclipse. Laugh out loud. But he always comes in here showing his ass, man, Chris. But typically, you're right. When you do come in and start all over, you're right. My questions will be is what will happen with the defense? Because we are basically starting over. Your offense, you're not starting all over because you have Brian Schottenheimer, who has been here, and they will run the ball more. And if they are successful at running the football better than they were, that will make Dak Prescott 100 times better. Because play action will work, 12 personnel will work, and you'll be balanced, as opposed to all of our wide receivers being covered in the worst separation in football. It will help them to get a little more open than what we've had.
And Hallie, just to answer your question, from now on, it's Momo and Big Brother Almighty. You have to call me Big Brother Almighty, because my squad runs we not only do we run the division, we run the conference. So get your mind right, wrap your brain around it. But from now on, I am known as Big Brother Almighty.
Well,
okay.
Well, now Leo,
Sound like
Leo,
the leader
Leo,
of a community college fraternity.
Leo,
Hey,
I have to say,
it's okay.
You calling yourself the Big Brother Almighty, we as Cowboys fans, we can't go and support all that thing because we have to trust the process and things, and we've got to evaluate all of the things that make the Dallas Cowboys great. Have we made some mistakes over the year? Well, by all means, we have made some mistakes here, but, you got to trust the process because we're going to get this thing right. We're going to do what's right for the fans, and we're going to get back to winning playoff games and championships. Is that good for you, Eddie?
Actually, Leo, we're gonna call you like how somebody said in the comments, Duval.
Eddie B says,
That's
"Tell
Florida,
your ass,
bro. Jersey.
this ain't school days." Eddie,
Uncle Atlantic City.
It is school days. That's what we're doing. We've been teaching y'all school. We're taking y'all to school. Out of the offensive linemen, Mark, there are only 2 that are pretty much good. The rest of the line looks like garbage. You must address that line. I don't care who you draft. You won't be running anywhere. That's from Drew.
Okay, and all right, I agree with you. Although, here's what I will say. Here's what I will
Mark,
say.
Jack wanted y'all to show his boobies.
Well, he always wants to. Okay. Jeff Lee is always here looking for boobies. I mean, we show ass on this channel. I ain't seen no boobies on here. I just haven't, so I don't know where Jeff's thinking that they're going to magically appear all of a sudden. But he can keep looking. Here's what I will say, though. She's addressing our offensive line. I'm going to say Cooper Beebe, to me, I think was fantastic. He was second. He was second in quarterback. Pressures given up. Excuse me, second best.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played really, really good. Tyler Smith is fantastic. Okay, now Tyler Guyton, Terrence Steele is an enigma. Terrence Steele is really good at run blocking, but he's not good at pass blocking. If the Dallas Cowboys, and this is a big if the Cowboys do more balanced running, it will make him better as a pass blocker. The reason being is, if I know what position you play, Leo, because you're a big guy, you had to play on the line, looking like Reggie White there.
Mark, I never played football. I've never played football.
With that big bucket head you got, you never played football.
I've never played
football. And then broad
football.
shoulders.
Nope. Believe it or not, man, I was in baseball and swimming.
All right.
Yeah.
Swimming.
Football day.
Swimming, yes, the breaststroke, the 50 and the 100.
Okay.
And in the medley, The
all
medley
right,
relay.
okay. Well, that's a surprise. I thought for sure you played football.
Yeah, how you get into football then?
That's why I had no problems with totally acquiescing to when an actual football player such as yourself
your partner's an offensive lineman, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Ask him which he would rather do, run block or pass block. And I guarantee you he will tell you. I would say run block. Because there's a big difference, because when you're run blocking, it is like it's aggressive. you're the guy in front of me, or I've got to get off of you and get to the linebacker.
Right.
But I am going to a spot. I know where I'm going. If I'm pass blocking, it's defensive. I've got to take a step back and figure out what you're doing and counter it. Or if it's a stunt, it's more difficult to do that. And if a defensive lineman knows I'm pass rushing,
Right.
I'm in my mind. I've already got my move set up, what I'm going to do to fake you out. I'm going to take a jab step. I'm going to dip the shoulder. I'm going to rip back inside and set you up. It's easier to get beat if they know that it's a pass play. If it's going to be a pass or a run, and I'm sitting here, I got to read and react. Is it a run so I can make sure I take care of my gap? Oh, it's a pass. Now I've got to start rushing. So that hesitation, if you're an offensive lineman, gives you an advantage because now I'm set. I see you. You're starting from a dead stop. But when they're coming and just bull rushing me, and as soon as that ball snapped, it's that much harder. So if the Cowboys are actually going to do what they're saying they're going to do, trying to be more balanced, and as Schottenheimer put, try to have one look but do multiple things out of it, then you don't necessarily know. Too many times we could look at the field, especially like with Jason Garrett, and say, we know exactly where they're going to run because they were so predictable. So those are things that can help out. And if you do those things, that helps out a quarterback who has been successful without those things, and he should be better.
When I think about the stories that he's told me, I will say that he did tell me that Dwight Freeney gave him his welcome to the NFL moment as a rookie.
Freeney was a bad dude.
And then, he's, if you, it's interesting seeing the look on his face when he tells the story. So obviously it must have been that bad if he still makes that face.
Yeah.
And then the second is
so don't say. So when I meet him, don't say Dwight Freeney.
No. It's funny. It's a funny story. He knows. He'll tell you all day. It was a long day for him.
Leo, I would say this about run. I used to play high school and some college football. I was the defensive lineman. It was easy for me.
Pass rushing.
I hated to tackle a running back because I didn't know where they would go. Because I was set on a position. Because it was simple. But when I was a pass rushing as a defensive tackle, defensive end, it was easier for me to pass rush or stop the run.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because people like Eugene and Mark and everything, like when they watch a game, like former football players, when they watch a game, it's a different experience for them than it is for like someone like me, because I'm just a fan. But they're looking at, like, when they see a game, they see film. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
they're looking at the X stunts to see what the line play is. The guy's high or low.
Majority of his like attaboys, like the things that he see are good, I would never think to look at. He'll see a technique that someone is using. Like he told me, like we were talking to each other throughout the game, and he kept telling me that Washington's defensive line and their offensive line was playing undisciplined. And I was like, but the way he explained it to me, it was like, you have to be a football player.
Yeah.
And I've had conversations, or I've actually heard, like, I've heard you, Mark, like on your live stream, sometimes when you're talking and you see something, you'll give the example as if you were a player because you went through it before. So I had to, like, for me, I take that, that's a more valuable insight than going back and forth with a casual fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I take it a lot better hearing it coming from a
believe it or not,
you're a trip.
High school players.
Oh man, Bobby Beninsky is now Bobby B.
Oh wow,
that's another man. That's another. You are the second Eagle fan to become a channel member in the last 24 hours. Had one yesterday.
Send him the link so he can jump in.
Damn. Well, the link, Bobby, if you want to join, the link is in the community tab. Oh Lordy! See, look, we're being overrun by you guys. Drew, if he wasn't so cheap, he could have his ass in here and get shut down.
Listen. Drew
I feel for Drew because Drew was upset.
Mom, now you gotta make him a shot glass.
Oh, I'm gonna send him a shot glass.
I know, but Drew, I think Drew is so upset because I see him on Law Nation. He went off on Law Nation. Drew went off on Law Nation. I said, "Oh my God."
Oh, really?
Why are you going off of my man Law? You better not play with
Go
Law.
ahead, Drew.
Woo.
Drew, he probably felt like me. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, he's probably going through it like me.
Hey,
Y'all cooked
Leo.
me last
Leo,
year.
You
guess who's
come
in
here
the
by
chat
choice.
now? Leo, guess who's in the chat?
Who's that?
Help me, Vonda.
Oh,
Rhonda
Lord.
Lovely
Lord have
Sparks.
mercy.
She said Jalen.
Oh,
Hurts
Bobby
gonna
says he's
fumble
already got the shot
Super
glass.
Bowl again. That's crazy.
Okay.
Lord have mercy.
All right.
Listen,
So Drew and Momo said we're just going to be ass next year, and we got no chance in hell. That the Commanders are going to be right there in the hip pocket of Big Brother
We
here.
got over
Okay.
$100 million salary. We could get any free agency.
Because that's always worked for you guys, hasn't
right. I was
it?
gonna say, wait a minute, Momo. So you're gonna buy
We
your
got a
way.
coach
Adam
now. We got a
Archuleta?
legitimate
Does
coach,
that
a
ring a
legitimate
bell?
owner.
Haynes
We have a legitimate
Worthless?
GM.
Dion?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
With y'all having a lot of money for free agency, y'all ain't done a whole lot with it in the past.
But I think this is different, Mark, and you know it's different.
Oh, okay. All
You
righty.
know it's different. So if we get the guy from Cleveland, what you gonna say then?
We'll see. We'll
Okay.
see. I know you're trying to get Osa. If he becomes a free agent.
Momo, this is what you are in danger of doing.
No, I'm not in danger
Cowboys,
of anything.
This is what.
I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about Washington. I want to talk about
you
Eagles.
are
This is a
in
Cowboy
danger of
station.
doing is
I don't
what
want to do
Cowboy
that.
fans have already done.
Okay.
Cowboy fans have already messed it up when it comes to Dak Prescott and me. Like, I like Dak Prescott. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. But listening to Cowboy fans, they make me hate him. And what's happening with Commander fans is that you guys, you got you one. You know, Jane Daniels is he has potential, but and I recognize that I had no problems with that. But the way y'all talk about this, dude, now you make me hate him.
Momo, Zeus said he never went off on Law. He said, "What you talking about?"
I thought I had seen him. I thought
You don't know what you're talking about.
It might have been a different a different person, Momo. It might have been a different guy.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, you know, Commander fans, you guys are messing it up for me when it comes.
Hold on. Let's go back to the. I remember when the Eagles wasn't nothing, and every time I say y'all was winning,
we are not that. We are NFC champions. Right now, we are.
We're not going to discuss this.
I think I may need to go back to another shoddy shot.
55. We put 55 on
Shoddy
you.
shot.
Be quiet.
Anybody?
55. You just figured out
shot.
that you had no business being here. You just sit down. Just sit down. Big Brother Almighty is talking. Big Brother Almighty is talking. You know,
I'll say this final thing, Leo.
You still got whelps.
I was
the whelps
one
have not.
who told
The whelps
all
on your
my
ass
friends
have
who's
not
gonna get blown
come
out.
yet. Come on now. We just whooped that ass. Sit down. All right.
You know who was most upset? Detroit Lions fans watching that game.
Oh.
Like, Detroit Lions fans was like, man, how did we lose to that?
No, Detroit Lions fans are going through it twice. They did. It happened to them 2 years in a row or 3 years in a row. Thinking they were going to the Super Bowl, right?
I think it's
2 years.
2 years.
Mike. Yeah, all right, 2 years.
I think it's 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they're two hot coordinators and now head coaches elsewhere. Who's to say they don't end up doing the same thing with the Jets and the Bears?
So you think their window of opportunity is now closing?
I don't know about that.
They lost another coordinator for Detroit, too.
I don't know about that. This is where you have to question, is it Dan Campbell or was it the coordinators?
Yeah, we about to find. Yep, you're right.
Because it could be kind of a case where it's like New England. You think about it. Was it Bill Belichick or was it his coordinators? Because his coordinators, if you look at their track record around the NFL as head coaches, they kind of sucked.
Yeah, they don't.
The closest one they had, Mark, was the one who went to Notre Dame, which I despise them, Charlie Weiss.
Yeah. But but we're talking about as pro coaches.
Yeah, but you know, when I think about Romeo Crennel, when I think about Josh McDaniels, when I
the only one that won a playoff game was in Houston. What's his name? And he got rid of DeAndre Hopkins and things. What was his name?
Grable.
Yeah, no.
Vrabel wasn't one of his assistants. It was a former player.
His name was Brian. What the hell was his name? The guy with the butt chin.
O'Brien. You talking about
Hey,
O'Brien?
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
Bill
hey,
O'Brien.
hey, Mark. I'm
Bill
working on
O'Brien.
something for you, Mark, to get on getting the playmaker on your channel.
You're working on getting Michael Irvin?
Yes,
Okay.
on your channel.
He's a good friend of Dan
That's
Salio,
Leo.
and I've actually got his phone number, but he never would call me back, which is
Oh,
kind of
wow.
crazy. Even was in his bar in Dallas. I'm like, okay, all right, playmaker, okay.
I love to
And
see him.
and
I love
I've
him.
actually talked to him many times at autograph signing shows and things. But
I'm about to go ahead and go. I'm not gonna show my ass, but I would like to say this. I believe that the Pete Carroll interview was not an interview. I believe they
they were
was
talking about Brian Shaw.
asking him about Schottenheimer. Is he a really? You think he'll be a good coach? I think that's what
I
that
think
call
so
was
too.
about.
I agree with you on that
Oh, they just
100%.
called him on the phone. Okay. I
They
see.
did. Well, well, I don't know,
Yeah,
if Derek,
it was more. It was more like a.
it
It
was
was more like
crazy
a
that night.
reference. More like a job reference.
Yeah,
Okay. As
because
long
it
as he
was
ain't come in, he ain't make a man fly there and say, "Hey, what do you think about? thanks for
no,
thanks
it
for
was a phone
flying
call.
5 hours. What do you think about Schottenheimer being our next coach?" Oh man,
Yep.
That would
Yep.
be kind of stupid if they did that. Ask Pete Carroll to come in and ask about Brian
But he got the
Schottenheimer.
job the next day. He got the
Yeah,
job for the Raiders
right.
the
With
Yeah,
the
next day.
right.
he landed the
Yeah, I
Raider
think it
job
was
the
that.
next
Yeah.
day. I don't know why nobody didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, again, who knows
You
what they
know,
said to him? You know what I'm saying? But it was
that,
because
that's one thing. That's one thing about us
Shout out to
Cowboy fans. We
Londa.
we get so excited about stuff without thinking.
right. So, what could you imagine? What was said to not just Pete Carroll, but wasn't Pete Carroll one of a number of people who all of a sudden was like, "Nah, I don't want to be here. I don't want this job." Right?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
you don't honestly know. I mean, we really don't know. I mean, you called Dion. That was the first thing after Mike
Right.
McCarthy went through.
Right.
And there's I think there's actually a lot to what you just said too, because this is where I want to believe this, but I'm still looking at it a side eye, where I think that all of this shit that has happened is actually made a change in Stephen Jones.
Oh, okay.
Because here's the thing, you went through, 3 years where you did absolutely nothing and you still won 12 games, right? I think that they started believing it doesn't matter what we do, we're still going to be good. And when this year literally went to shit, and every move, every single thing you did blew up in your face, including pieces of the damn stadium falling apart, right? You got people not showing up for games. You're losing at home where you had won 16 games in a row. And it's just like everything got so bad. And then you go to this, you figured, well, we're just going to bring back Mike McCarthy. And Mike McCarthy's like, I want a 5-year deal. Well, we're only going to do a 3-year. Well, okay. Take the job and shove it. That they got caught flat-footed. Like, wait a minute, hold on. Where Jerry Jones is thinking, I only want people who want to be here. And all of a sudden, people didn't want to be here. You called Dion, and Dion used you to get a better deal at Colorado. Robert Saleh, I don't know if they actually were serious about offering him a job, but I think he looked at it and said, I can go back to San Francisco and be a god without the hassles of the Cowboys. Kellen Moore, I don't know if it was Kellen Moore or if they kind of thought, nah, we don't want this again. And I'm so glad it's not Kellen Moore because, see, to me, bringing back Kellen Moore is more of the same thing that we've always done. Hiring and promoting a guy that we've already deemed as our guy. And I'm so happy that
That's what y'all just did, Mark.
Well, yes and no, but Brian Schottenheimer wasn't one of their guys. He wasn't a former Dallas Cowboy player like Kellen Moore was. He wasn't a forward coordinator like Mike Zimmer was back in the day. This is a guy who was only here for 3 years. And they went through, instead of saying, we're going to keep all the staff together, the same guys that we've had here, they've started all over.
I'm gonna tell you something, and you're gonna mark my word. You mark it down. I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen in free agent. What's about to happen?
We'll see.
Jerry Jones and Catboy is going to go after Russell Wilson as a backup quarterback for Dak Prescott. Guaranteed.
Okay.
I guarantee it.
Well, that would be a typical Cowboys move because you do that to create a buzz. I mean, that's how's that different than going to get Andy Dalton, because we had people saying, "Oh, there's no difference between Dak Prescott and Andy Dalton," or going out there to get Trey Lance. Well, he was a number 1 draft pick. He's going to push Dak. Okay, and you know what? Dak will just say, "Whatever, brush that shit off. I got my $60 million a year. Do what the fuck you want to do." Okay, good luck at taking my spot.
That's real talk. That's actually real talk.
Now, I heard a lot of talk about Dak being a scrambler quarterback. Dak is in no condition to run around.
I've never said he's a scramble quarterback.
Yeah,
he moves around the pocket.
Momo, you have to realize something, and I said this to not only Commander fans but Giants fans and Cowboy fans. Let's not act like we ain't seen enough of Dak Prescott.
Where Dak Prescott has played really, really well.
Twice a year. You've seen this dude twice a year.
No, I'm talking about his scrambling ability, because that.
No. Listen. No, hear me out.
That surgery is going to hamper him to run around like that.
But you know what's? But hold up. Stop with that shit.
Saying is
because hold on. See,
twice a year for 10 years, and there's no. I don't have to. So what? He had the surgery. It don't look like it slowed his ass down any bit. I'm sorry. This dude is a more than capable quarterback. He's still a problem. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop acting like we ain't never seen this dude.
Hold on. I saw Tyron Smith, who's been a shadow of himself for like the last 5 years, have the same injury in the beginning of the season, come back and play the last 3 games of the season, and then was all pro the next year as a left tackle.
Okay.
Bobby Biskey said Dallas just traded a 4th for stadium curtains.
Well, I'd be happy about that. Bobby, jackass.
Mark, you funny. Mark is so funny. Mark is what's most funny about you, Mark. That's when I don't know this stuff is planned when you get all set. I don't know you.
No, this shit is not scripted. Okay.
Yeah, that's the funniest version of Mark. Foul mouth. Mark.
Now one of the things that's interesting, that was just brought up to me is that now, in terms of when you look at the division, Dak is now the oldest QB in the division.
Yeah, he's actually one of the older quarterbacks in the NFC right now.
Yeah, and has not been very far in the playoffs.
Oh,
in the
my
tenure
God.
that he's been there. You know what I'm saying? Because
I hear what you're saying, but the Cowboys ain't been anywhere over 30 years. So are we saying that that's his fault too?
No.
What you have to look at is the Cowboys and what they do. It's bullshit. When you literally sign your quarterback on opening Sunday, you have one weapon and you have him sit out the whole offseason. You literally say, "Oh, the Eagles, they're getting Saquon. Baltimore, they're getting Derrick Henry. Let's get Zeke and Dalvin Cook. We're good. Okay? Yeah, come on."
But see, that's the thing. It's the same decision makers that bring in.
Yes, I understand that.
And I'm like,
and my whole thing is at least, okay, here's the difference, at least the difference that I hope. Last year was Jerry Jones. Well, we hear the fans and everything else, and we're going all in. And he didn't follow up on anything. I almost feel like right now Jerry has been pushed a little bit more to the side, and that Steven is actually doing a lot more, and he's at least saying the right thing. When Jerry says I'm going all in, you take it with where's my rock salt? You take it with salt. Stephen Jones doesn't lie to you, though. He'll tell you flat out, we ain't spending any money on free agency. We're going to sign Dak. We're going to sign CD. That's our priority. And that's what he said last year. And what did they do? They didn't sign anybody other than Dak and CD. So when he says, we got to look at things, at free agency and plugging the holes and doing a better job, then you actually say he said that. So typically they do what he actually says. In fact, I want to say, for me, listening to him from the Senior Bowl, he sounded serious as opposed to the usual. You usually get the shit-eating grin. He's got his glasses on, and he's usually he usually gets you the when people talk about the drought and things about us missing the playoffs, and it's just like, shut up. You just literally want to claw his eyes out.
At least he didn't have
Okay,
Warner's now.
but he's actually looked and sounded serious about trying to fix a problem. I don't know if it's going to be true or not, but when you see, and Momo's not here, when you see what
He's still there.
what activity actually does, Washington, the change of coach and bringing in some new blood and things like that made a difference. Now the Cowboys, it's not the same lineage of everybody who's been tied in since Jimmy Johnson, because that's what they've tried to do. You bring in Jason Garrett because he was there. You bring in Mike Zimmer because he was there working with the Cowboys back in the 90s and stuff. You now have a complete break of all of that. Brian Schottenheimer wasn't tied to the Cowboys as a player or a coach other than being here for the last 3 years.
Mark,
Kalen
Adams.
Adams.
I will say this, Mark, in closing. I really want to close this out and say this. I believe that I know you said earlier that he brought his coaching staff. No, he didn't. Those are players where they got. He's not picking his coaching staff. Why we stop believing in that? Please stop
Because
that.
we got guys that worked with him in other places.
That doesn't mean that they
Okay,
brought
all right, okay. Well, here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. Whether he picked him or not, there are people that are familiar with him and working with him. And I will say this. When you listen to Quadre Diggs,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
There was an interview with him with Jesse Holley, and he was talking about Brian Schottenheimer. Now, he's a defensive player.
Right.
But he was talking about his relationship with him and how he worked with him and how he was a great motivator. And see, that says a lot because he's an offensive coordinator. I'm a defensive player. Typically, there's not a whole lot of crossover. So it's not a player of the Cowboys. He's got nothing to gain about pumping the guy up. So when you hear things like that.
Is he be able to discipline the players like he should? If you do this, if you do that, you're going to get fined. If you jump offside,
that remains okay. Now that's not Brian Schottenheimer. That's the Cowboys organization. If they're going to undermine,
the coach is able to do that.
Well, that is again. See, here's the thing. I will say the same thing that I've said all along. It won't matter who we bring in as a coach, because we've seen Bill Parcells here, and you can't say Bill Parcells can't coach. If the Cowboys do the same things they always do, where we believe in our own guys and stuff and, trust the process, it won't matter if it's Brian Schottenheimer or not. But if the team actually does things, realizing we fucked up because we haven't had a defensive line for the last 20 years, that we have to have a running game and we have holes, that we can't just draft our way to plug the holes. If they do those things and allow him to coach, and I feel like right now they are stepping back and allowing him to have a vision and working together, then it can work.
Yeah,
the only way we're going to know that is when they start practicing and playing games. Eddie B.
Now, Mark, if the team were to be successful this year, do you think Jerry Jones's ego is going to get in the way?
I'm gonna be. You know what? Here's
in a way. Wait,
Eddie B.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
Momo's arse looks like that dang front
already in the way or been in the way.
Okay.
Because you know how Jerry Jones wants to be in that success too, because he wants to be like, I want to be part of that success.
Yeah.
Because if the Cowboys are successful, he wants all the credit, because his ego will get in that way again.
Well, I hope so.
I just wish they would put Jerry Jones in a straitjacket and put him in the loony bin.
Eddie, you crazy, man. Mark, I heard you said something about me, so I thought I would listen in. I must say that your voice over me is quite good. I'm highly impressed with your talent. Want a job. Man, Eddie, you crazy.
But end of the day, everybody's talking about Jerry's the bad one. If Jerry goes away, his son is worse.
But actually, hold on. I actually had this crazy thought. Because here's what doesn't make sense to me. Okay, is from the time the Cowboys hired Will McClay, head of scouting, right? He's had offers to be GM for other teams. The Texans have wanted him more than once, and you can't say that he's hit on every draft pick, and he's had some ones you kind of question, but you can't you can't get away from the fact that we've had like 14 Pro Bowl players that he's drafted. And you look at some of the players from Tyron Smith and Travis Frederick, Tyler Smith, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb. He's drafted some really great players. So why would you take another multi-year deal to be kind of in the shadows? That never made any sense to me. But my question is, because I feel like Jerry Jones, it's kind of like it's darkest before the dawn, that he's doing his final, flailing and everything else of being that owner and everything else, that if Stephen Jones eventually takes over for him, is Stephen Jones going to take on Jerry's responsibilities and the ones that he has as well? Or is it that Will McClay gets elevated to be basically what Stephen Jones is to the organization? You follow me? Steven's not going to be GM, president, head of the cap, and all this stuff. Is Will McClay in the position to be, as if something happens to Jerry or Jerry just doesn't do the day-to-day operations, he's the guy to come in? Because why would you stay here doing the same thing now that your kids are done with school? And that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, you start not. When I think about it, when you say it that way, and I start to think about things, you can actually see that there's like a posturing of realignment, like they're preparing for a secession. You know what I'm saying? The eventual Jerry's just not going to be there.
Now you saw Jerry at the press conference and everything else and everything else, the figurehead, the defiant one saying, I'm taking a big risk and everything else. But since that time, the rest of this week, it's been all Stephen Jones on Front Street and seeming like he's saying, we got to do this, this, and this. We brought back Will McClay, so we start working together to get the coaches what they need on the field and stuff and working hand to hand. And it's kind of like, this doesn't sound like the normal shit that I hear from the Cowboys.
No, that's true. That's true.
Okay. All right, guys. I'm going.
All right, Momo. Take your ass on out of here.
Take care, Momo.
Yeah, I got to watch the Royal Rumble, and that's what I watch.
All right, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, well, we'll see you on the other side of our.
Hey, by the way, Leo, you need to give me your number I need to talk to you.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
I give you my email address.
Email me. I can get it to you.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. Don't put your phone number out.
No, I wasn't going to put it on the chat. No.
Well, you could put it in the Zoom here and give it to him that way. I guess.
That's what I was. That's what I was doing.
Because I'm from the DC area, so I could come up there and I'm going to drive. I'm not catching a plane this time. I'm just too worried about that shit.
Well, the thing is crazy though about that plane crash in DC. One, I remember when Air Florida crashed and hit the 14th Street Bridge.
Yep.
I was in high school.
And all that ice and everything?
I was in driver's ed that day driving at 10:30 in the morning in the snow and the ice. And there was also a subway accident that killed 2 people in the metro.
Yes, I remember that, 1982.
Right. And, I remember coming home, and my mom always listened to WMAL AM 63.
Yes.
And you heard about this plane crash. And I remember turning on the news, and you literally saw the plane tail out the water, that flight attendant who was holding onto it, shivering, and that guy who was just swimming, who just disappeared like it was yesterday. But I knew, once I saw that first clip of the thing, I said, there ain't nobody getting out of that.
Mm-hmm. 42 degrees is too cold for
Mark, I used to live in Alexandria.
All right, goodbye.
Mm-hmm. All right, peace out, Mo.
All right, now, Momo. I used to live in Alexandria, and where I lived at, if I went out on my terrace, I can see the whole river line. And one of the things that I remember about that was the fact that you always saw. I used to always see the Coast Guard helicopters.
Oh, it's so congested downtown. It's crazy.
And all them. So, like I was telling some friends, like the helicopters going up and down the Potomac is not unusual. Was unusual was how high that helicopter was.
Yeah. Well, see, we were right on. In my house in Springfield is right on the flight line, and so every morning you always had the helicopters coming from Davidson Field. I'm only about 5 miles from there, and they're going up and they're following the river downtown. And if you've ever flown into National, or if you have a chance. Go to LBJ, Lady Bird Johnson Park It's at the end of the runway, and you can literally see all these planes that are stacked up to come in. I mean, about 7 deep. And so it's like every minute, there's a plane coming in, one taking off. It's so much traffic there with the helicopters, like you said, with the Coast Guard, you got the Park Service, you got the police department, and you got the helicopters that are flying in to the Pentagon, dropping off the VIPs. People don't realize how congested that airspace is, especially because you can't fly over D.C. So it's a narrow corridor. So where that plane was coming down, and I can see exactly how it happened. The plane's coming down here. This helicopter is drifting up. So they're up looking at about 10 o'clock. That's a blind spot for the helicopter. And the airplane is coming down, and they're focusing in on that narrow glide to get in there. Right. And so that helicopter is right up underneath of them, and they just didn't see each other, and boom.
Yep. That's what I think. I think the same thing, Mark. I mean, like I said, I used to live on, where I lived at was a part of that flight line.
Yeah.
And I worked at the Pentagon for a number of years. And
so you know that area.
Yeah, just being in the, Mark, being in the center courtyard, sometimes those planes would come in so close, we could see the people looking out the window. You can
seriously,
see them.
If you go to LBJ Park, you feel like you can grab the wheel as it's going over. It's that low when they come in. It's crazy.
My old supervisor, her brother was one of the people that was killed in the Pentagon when 9/11 happened. And,
that was crazy too.
And she was telling me, she's actually at the time where I was working there, she was actually fulfilling her brother's old job, his old role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they tell me, like all my old coworkers who were at the Pentagon when it all happened, they all tell me stories like a lot of people, when it happened, a lot of people who were on the highway going into D.C. that morning didn't think terrorist attack at first. They thought, I always knew that was going to happen one day. I always thought those planes came in too close. They were thinking the Potomac River thing, like you said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they follow the river.
Yeah, and because, you have to remember, these people were in their cars when New York was going down and everything like that. So nobody heard anything just yet. And
that was
so
crazy.
When that happened, it's interesting hearing, all this stuff. And I'm like, damn, I remember living in that area for a period of time, and folks telling me these stories, and then also remembering what I used to see all the time. And I told some people, actually, you see the Coast Guard helicopters all the time too.
Yeah,
going up and down that river.
Because a lot of times you're getting those VIPs that are flying to the Pentagon and everything else, and then the Park Service is always taking care of business, and then you got the DC the cops. The DC Police Department is there in on the Anacostia, and so they all have to come up and follow the river and stuff because they're not allowed to fly downtown. So everything crisscrosses in there constantly, and the fact that they only had one air traffic controller in there is crazy.
It's actually Boulder. It's Boulder busy too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like when I think about it, I'm like, wait a minute, no, because I do see a lot of police boats too. So it's like, damn, like I can imagine, and it's been like almost 20 years since I lived that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, wow, I can imagine how much more, because I know there's a casino down that way now.
There's MGM, which is right there by the Woodrow Wilson Bridge.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. See, I like where I lived at in Alexandria. You could see that bridge too. And you could see,
it's heartbreaking seeing that. But now my daughter is just like, now planes are falling from the sky. She's like, it's kind of scary because it's like, she's like, I see all the planes are always flying over and everything else. You just don't know. It's getting to be a crazy world right now.
Like the crazy part is that plane landed in the hood, and cats is like, it's scorched. The way that plane came in, a lot of people, and I think it killed
one person on the ground.
On the ground. Yeah,
I think they confirmed at least one.
Wow. Yeah. See, that's crazy. So yeah.
And that was not a big plane. That's the thing that's crazy about it. That's a small plane.
Are you talking about the plane that crashed in Philadelphia the other day?
Last night. Yeah.
That Lear jet, the medical jet.
Yeah. Yep. It was a medevac jet. Yep. So
You live in Philadelphia, right, Leo?
no, I'm actually outside of Phil. I'm in New Jersey. I'm in Trenton, New Jersey.
Oh, you're in Trenton.
Yep.
Oh, okay, you're in Trenton.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now
because there
look,
was videos on YouTube, I think, where someone caught the plane crashing into the ground. You
Oh,
just see like a
there's several of them that are out there. Dude was
you just
getting
hear
some
that
fast
whistling
food and
sound,
shit.
Yeah.
and then just the fireball, the explosion is like, holy crap!
I think they said
That's
it had
like-
only been airborne for like 30 seconds. So it went up and it just went right
Okay,
down.
right back down.
So yeah.
Wow.
Derek J, man, you all right over there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I got to ask you about that video you had yesterday with Dude, and you got part of it blurred. I didn't have time to watch it. I'm like, what the hell was that shit?
The drunk guy got pulled over wearing women's lingerie with handcuffs on and leg shackles on. So he had the whole get up.
I don't know where you find these people, man.
And his reasoning was crazy. He said, I was home and I needed some peace and quiet, so I drove out to the park. Who do you live with at home? Nobody. So he was home by himself.
Drunk in lingerie,
to the park to
handcuffs.
get peace and quiet. I don't know.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to watch that one. Definitely check out my man Derek J's reacts.
Are you going live again next Saturday, Mark? Right before the game?
For everybody else, yes. For you, no.
Really? How could you not want me on, Mark? It's my team that's playing. How could you not want me on? That don't make sense. That don't make any sense. You don't want an Eagles fan who you don't want to know what it's like.
History man. Okay. No, then again, I hadn't heard that it had been up for 16 minutes, but it was really close to where the airport was. I had heard 30 seconds. Now you're going to hear, I guess, all kinds of different things on what's going on with these things, and until they do, I guess all the investigations. Some of the stuff is credible, some of it isn't. So what I'd heard is that basically it went up, something happened, and it just went straight back down. So I don't know.
A lot of things could have happened, Mark. You know, a plane going up, and then it could be like birds going into the engine.
Yep.
That's a possibility that, the engine failure due to bird going inside
strike.
the engine. Bird strike, yeah, because it has happened before.
The Eddie B voiceover, I haven't heard it. What Eddie B voiceover?
The weather here last night was horrible.
It could also be weather too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
the weather.
A helicopter crashed too here. I guess they put up I think it was a construction crane or whatever, but they didn't put the lights on.
Oh shit.
Oh shit! Yeah, you gotta have lights on those things.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a couple of things that's been happening here all of a sudden, and so and from my understanding, the president is saying it's a DEI thing. I don't know where that came from, so it's like, okay, I didn't know that part, but okay. So we'll see, man.
Yeah,
but so you are doing this next Saturday?
Yeah, I'm doing it next Saturday.
Okay, all right, bet. So then, Mark, next Saturday when we see each other, I'll be on the other side of 50. I turn 50 on on Wednesday, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
You turning 50?
Huh?
You turning 50, Leo? Man, I thought
yeah.
you were 35, bro.
Nah, man. Nah, bro. Nah.
35 what?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Actually,
my beautiful bride
no.
said, I need to go outside. She said, look at the moon and the planet that's beside them, and there's no stars out. That's just see the two of those. She said it's
might
beautiful.
be Venus that's right there next to the moon.
It could be.
Because there is an app where you can check, where the planets are at.
Yeah, they were supposedly lining up. I think a week or two ago that they said
February
basically
2nd.
they're all this. Yeah.
It happened February 2nd.
Yeah.
It
happened last week. I'm sorry, last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you really, to see all of them, you need to have a telescope. You'll see a couple of them, but you're not seeing all of them. But
you can probably see some of them with like binoculars.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Let me take a couple of hits. Let me take a couple of hits, and I'll see everything. I'll see them all.
Oh shit! Listen to this motherfucker.
Flying saucers.
Okay.
Flying saucers.
All right.
UFOs.
Yeah. So now we know what's wrong with you. All right.
Hey. Oh, thank you, Alan. I appreciate that, man.
All right. So final thoughts here. Not from you. You've got too many thoughts.
Leo, when is your? It's on Wednesday, Rhonda. I turned 50 on Wednesday.
Get your colon checked.
We
Oh, I'm in line for all that, Mark.
we have to hope for the best. I stopped stressing over the decisions the Cowboys make a couple years ago because I realized whatever I want them to do, they do
They
something
ain't gonna
else.
do it. Yeah.
So it's no need to worry or guess or predict. I'm tired of doing that. Just, hopefully the people making the decisions make the right decisions this time. So that's all I
Yeah.
can do.
Shout out to History Man 0828. I watched the collision in D.C. and it's just heartbreaking realizing that very moment those people's lives ended. We have to enjoy each day that we live on this planet. Amen on that one, because things are getting a little crazy out here right now.
And it's people who don't want to get on planes now.
I will say I have flown out of that airport many, 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 many times out there. And that place, now it's a beautiful airport, and it's like an assembly line. You will get in and get your bags and get out of there, but that place is always packed. And when it takes off, when they take off, you feel like you're going straight up, and then you're banking. I swear, it's just like vertical because the runways are very, very short on there. The longest one I think is only 5,200 feet, and so they have to push the pedal to the metal to get up and go, and they have to get away from DC. My parents don't live far away from there, and some of the times when they take off and they bank that hard, I can pinpoint where my parents' house is, and I've got a picture, aerial shot of flying over it. It's kind of hairy getting out of there, and so, after thinking about it more and more and seeing that helicopter, I probably will go out of Dulles or BWI a lot more than I will out of National. National's convenient. You can take the metro right in there, get off and go, but just to start thinking about, that place is awful congested.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. I like I said, I used to live right there near Reagan International. So I remember how those planes used to do those heavy banks and come and go left and go right. And it used to be like, damn, like I would hate to be a passenger on that plane because you're literally on the side.
Yeah.
So it's just like wow. Again, prayers up to all those people affected and whatnot.
Amen.
Mark, look, quick question.
Oh my God, not another.
Are you guys cautiously optimistic, or are you just trying to?
That's all we got, man. Okay, listen. Actually, I am. I see it at least at the moment going in the right direction. That doesn't mean it can't run off the tracks and they get back to stupid. But I see them actually trying to put together a really good coaching staff.
So then, here's my one request of all Cowboy fans. My one request is that regardless of what you guys do and what changes you make, good or bad, regardless, please do not try to convince us that this is your year.
I don't
or
do
that
that.
This is or that
you're on my channel. You are here in my house. I'm over here doing Mark Home things right here at the Red Brick House, talking about the Cowboys to other Cowboy fans. You come in here and then just try and get all these ideas. I'm not going out and saying we're winning the Super Bowl because we got Brian Schott. I'm not saying that shit. I'm saying that we'll be better than we were this year.
However you want amongst yourselves, that's great. If that's what you have to tell each other to feel good, that's fine. What I'm asking is that you not try to impose that upon non-Cowboy fans.
Bro, we don't impose shit to you guys. You guys are always here bloviating and talking all that smack about how you guys are the only thing that's relevant in the last 25 years and we ain't done shit. I ain't talking shit that we great. Get out of here, man.
Oh, my God.
I would never say the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl this year. It's like I don't think it's our year either.
The chat is lighting me up right now, so let me just explain something. I'm preempting things. I'm saying these things in anticipation of the coming season. That's why I'm saying these things. I ain't saying you're doing it now. I'm saying at the end of all of this, in terms of your coaching staff, what free agency is going to look like, all that stuff, all I'm asking is that by the time the season starts, please don't spend time trying to convince non-Cowboy fans that this is your year. Because and I'm
anybody
saying that
else,
in anticipation of.
anybody other than Leo have something to say? Anybody? Okay.
Shut up, Mountain.
Anybody? Thomas, Asa Robinson, Michael, Derek J, Big D. Anybody? But please.
Well, I just hope for something different this year. It's like I'm looking forward to the draft. If Genty's there at 12, I think the Cowboys should pull the trigger to get him. But if he's not there, then maybe take a wide receiver with to be CeeDee Lamb's Robin, and then maybe draft a running back in the later rounds, maybe like a Caleb Johnson, and possibly maybe get another running back too in that same draft. If Devin Neal's still there, you get Caleb Johnson and Devin Neal. It would be, two new fresh guys that would help the run game.
Yeah.
You could probably have like a 1-2 punch.
Right.
Because if you see Devin Neal, the way he runs, he kind of reminds me of like Marion Barber, where Marion Barber would just like run you over. Like he was a ground and pound type of guy.
Yeah.
But Marion Barber was 6 foot and Devin Neal is 5'11".
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. We've got free agency starting, I think, on March 10th. We've got about 3 weeks before the combine is coming up real quick. So, there's not a whole lot of time to get shit together, but they definitely – Jeff Lee says, Duval. That goober ass.
Well,
you gotta get the
believe if they're gonna do anything in free agency. If they're not, it's like, well, they're doing the exact
the same thing. And that's why I say it's still early to tell. You're 100% right.
Well,
Hey,
yeah,
Mark,
I do, Rhonda. I do.
Hey, Mark,
demand
you're
it.
gonna send tailgate members the new Shoddy Shot shirt.
Not this, well, we're gonna probably get shot glasses to start out with, but that would be a lot to send a shirt to like tailgate members. That'd be like 40 of them. That's
but you know
that's
what?
a lot.
If you do send me a Shoddy shirt, I wear extra large.
Extra large.
Hey,
Man,
you know what, Mark? You need to trademark that, the whole shoddy shot thing.
Jerry Jones said it, so
you know what, Mark? You should
but still put in the trademark
C in between the S and the H to put the Shoddy Shot.
Okay.
Like
the SCH. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the SCHOTTY.
The SCH, yeah.
Yeah.
SCH.
That's
okay.
Do that.
All right. We'll do that.
And also have the missus make you another shirt with the SCHOTTY.
Okay.
Same thing, but just add the C. Mike's right. Do that. And then also put in a trademark for it.
Okay.
That's a thing. That'll be a thing, bro.
Man, it costs money to put a trademark in, man.
Yes, but it'll be worth it, especially if this thing takes off.
Yeah, if it takes off.
They already stole your chicken. They already stole your chicken idea. They already got you.
They stole your chicken.
They stole my chicken. They choked my chicken. All right.
Leo, we gotta keep this PG here. Can't say choke the chicken. There might be kids watching.
I ain't say that. I'm just saying they stole his chicken idea.
I was the one that said they choked my chicken.
Yeah, but hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like Mark, you know, I hate to see you not get paid for something. That's
all right, I hear y'all. All right, so we gonna get ready to get up out of here. And I appreciate you guys all showing up. I appreciate everybody being here and being part of the chat. And we'll see what we're going to see with the Cowboys. And unfortunately, we'll have to see the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Oh, God.
Yep.
The Eagles in the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have won 3 in a row.
Because comes Super Bowl Sunday, you should probably start off with the Imperial March song for the Eagles. Dun, 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 dun. Like, you're walking the line to watch the Eagles play in the Super Bowl again.
I know you all hate it, but you all know the truth. We're going to win the Super Bowl. That's what y'all got to deal with.
Well, I'm
You
afraid it's going to be
got to deal
rigged.
with the refs too, so you got to be careful with them refs.
Well, if
Which
you
is
don't
why,
win, we're
in
going to
all
clown
honesty,
you.
I think it's gonna. I think we're going to blow them out.
All right.
Well, I'm afraid it's
And with that being said, we're going to get out of here.
Can't stand it anymore. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get out of here.
Calm down now. Get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Don't you want on the phone. Everything's going to be all right.
You gotta have